Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today on the channel we're going to talk about bolt action builds and how you can make a 500 point list from a 30-man infantry box that contains 6 order dice. At the end of the video I will break down more of the individual models, but to start off I'm going to do what we're all here for, and that's the list, what it consists of, and how we need to build that. So before I move it, I'll just break down the individual models. So if you just want this, I'll have this broken down for you in the description if you want. You're going to have one lieutenant with a sub, one helper with that lieutenant, also with the sub, a medic, 3 NCOs with subs, 3 LMGs, 3 loaders, 14 riflemen, 3 Panzerfausts, 1 sniper, and 1 spotter to go with that sniper. So let's now look at the models. We have, starting with our HQ squads, have them right over here. We'll zoom in a minute. I will point. We have our lieutenant, his helper, and a medic in the back. In the far back there, you can see another medic. That's the key to making the medic unique in this, is when you paint them, you'll be painting his helmet white, so he sticks out from the rest of his German brothers. Now if we move over to the squads, you're going to have 2 squads that are going to be identical. Those 2 squads are going to be consisting of a NCO with a submachine gun, your machine gun with his loader next to him, 6 riflemen and a Panzerfaust in the gray and back, and that squad is mirrored over here. That's going to be their 2 big infantry squads as they kind of go running around on the battlefield. Next, we continue to go over, we've got a smaller squad here, maybe just for capturing a point, but getting some more points on the list. You've got your NCO with a sub, your LMG, your loader, 2 riflemen, and a Panzerfaust. And last but not least, we have a sniper and a spotter with the sniper. So that's the list. That's the breakdown of what the list consists of. You're going to have 6 order dice in that list. What I think this list does well is it gives you 6 order dice, which is very nice. It gives you a sniper, a medic, which medics aren't the best in game, but they're kind of nice to have around. But it gives you those 3 infantry squads, 2 of them running at full power. And in my opinion, having more men in a squad sometimes is more helpful than having less men, but more squads. Their squads can take a few more bullets before they really start losing their power. A smaller squad to kind of maybe do some covert sneaking to capture an objective or something. And it just gives you some flexibility to kind of learn the rules, learn how it plays. And this build can very easily be expanded into a much bigger army when maybe you get a starter set, or maybe you get another grenadier box, or maybe you get an SS box. It doesn't matter what else you get, but this is a good jumping off point for that. So that being said, now we're going to jump in and look at some of the models with a little bit more closeness, or maybe focus is the word I want to use here. So here we've got our lieutenant. He's not finished painting, so kind of ignore some of his faults. But you can see he just has his little cap on, and that's an officer's cap. And in the German army, I like to go very historical with my builds. But with the German army, only the officers and people who were important had this little cap on. Your NCOs and your assistants often didn't have this cap because it was reserved for those higher ranking officers. So that's kind of something I see a lot of people do, and it's not exactly accurate, but they do it quite often. But I have submachine guns on him and his assistant here. An assistant has a little field cap on, so he's not wearing his helmet. And that's characteristic for these guys. They were in the back. They weren't exactly in the front lines. Next, we've got our medic character. He's also going to be in a field cap, but if you wanted to paint him up differently, you could. This is just a generic guy that I have in my army. You can use any model to represent your medic if you want. What I would do, though, is I would do kind of what they did here with the metal model. So this is a metal. This doesn't come in the box. model. But what I want to show you is his hat is painted white, and he's got this bag. See this bag he's holding? I think you can get away with a very similar effect, and I've seen some people do it, where they will take, grab this guy right here, a machine gun, there's a little box thingy here, and if you paint a little red cross on that, that very easily looks like a little medic's bag. And maybe you can put a little pointing finger in one hand, but it gives you a lot of flexibility on what you want to do. Next, let's look at some NCOs. So here's an NCO. Again, I give my NCOs all their subs. So they've got their submachine guns, they've got their binoculars. This little guy's got his nice blonde hair flowing in the wind. So he's looking down, seeing what he can see. Good thing going forward. Also, something I did, this is my late war German Grenadier. And this is something I've heard some kickback on, but I want to show you anyway. If you look, his little tent thingy, I forget the actual name for it, I just painted it gray. Because towards the end of the war, these were just handed out as gray tarps. Because they weren't painting them. They just gave them to the men. Because these things would pop up and you could make a tent out of them. But they weren't painting them anymore. Also, this army, I just painted all their caps gray too. Because I like the aesthetic. So you can get away with some cheats too. You don't have to go super detailed. These guys aren't detailed. I say this is army quality. They're painted up. They got a wash on them. And then they've got a matte varnish to keep them safe. Because these things kind of get tonked around, clinked around. You don't have to go crazy detail with painting. If you want to, go for it. Great. But you don't have to. You can do what just feels good. We're going to look at a machine gunner here. I love my machine gunners. I think the German machine guns are some of the coolest ones out there. I'm going to show you this guy in some detail. Another thing with these guys, you can do a lot of cool stuff on their back. This guy's really loaded down. He's got his bullets. He's got a whole bunch of stuff on his back. He's carrying his gun. He's running. He's ready to fight. Him, just like the NCO, he doesn't have a ton of detail, but I think he's tabletop quality. I think he looks pretty good. Here's our loader. And something I do with my loaders is if you look closely, he doesn't have a gun. He's got his little ammo pack. He's carrying some bullets on the wrist. His back's loaded down with stuff. But you might be asking, well, Vinny T-Rex, where's his gun? I don't give him guns. So that when I'm looking at my squads, I can quickly see, oh, this guy right here doesn't have a gun. He must be my loader. So that's why I do that. That's my crazy reasoning there. Let's look at a couple riflemen real quick. Here I've got just a simple little rifleman. His field cap is painted with the little insignia, so that sticks out a little bit better. His gun's got a nice little detailed painting on it if it focuses. There we go. With the bolt and the in-gun stuff. And again, not a ton of detail. He's got his stuff on his back. He's got a knife, some extra bullet pouches. Just some simple little stuff on him. I think those bullet packs come on the model. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Show you a few more riflemen here up close. Again, helmets are just painted with that German gray because I really like that aesthetic. And that's the thing with your armies. You can make them a little customized. You don't have to go super historical accurate, or you can make them really stand out. But what matters is that you enjoy the look of them, so you want to play them. Go another helmetless guy here. Again, he's holding his gun. He's got his mean growl on. He's got his helmet on his back here. He's ready to go. Again, you don't have to paint them in super great detail. You just get them to a quality that you like. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to be what you enjoy. Another cheat, I'll show you this guy again. If you look closely, his eyes, I don't paint their eyes. And my reason being, these guys, you're looking at them from this level, can you see any of their eyes? No. And on a tabletop, they're going to be further away. There's going to be other stuff to look at. You're not going to see their eyes. So don't waste your time. Don't get frustrated. Don't get angry trying to paint their eyes. It'll just drive you nuts. All right. Last rifleman I'll show you, then we'll move on to Panzerfaust, show you something cool with them, and then we'll move on to the sniper. This guy has got a grenade, right? Cool, huh? just some other little stuff. Obviously, he's got his rifle. He's a rifleman. He's shouting. He's angry. He's German. He's probably angry because he's German. I don't know. But again, paint quality, I would say is fine. It's not super great. You know, there's some great model painters out there. I would say that I am fine. You don't have to be great. Just got to be good. Good enough for you. All right, Panzerfaust time. I need to clean up some old lines on this guy. But another thing I want to show you with the Panzerfaust, he doesn't have any stuff glued on him yet, but I'm not going to glue on another weapon. And the reason I do that is my army is set up so that I can run my Panzerfausts. I can run them with my veterans that have assault weapons and to give him an assault weapon. I just say, hey, everyone in this squad has assault weapons, or everything in this squad has rifles. Gives you some flexibility on where you want to put these guys. And another thing you can do, I'll quickly move some guys around here. Say you want to add some more Panzerfaust with your lists. So let's go, we'll have one of our squads with Panzerfaust and the other squad with none. So we'll have a heavy tank hunter squad here. This squad just has riflemen, and this squad just has riflemen. So now you can mix the squad around a little bit with this build, and it gives you some more flexibility down the line. All right. Last thing I told you to talk about would be the sniper and his assistant. Sniper. So I did some kit bashing here. That scope is actually cut off of a U.S. Smith gun, off a U.S. sprue, and is glued onto the Car 95 here. And I like the way it turned out. And you don't have to do this when you make yours. By all means, just give him the rifle. But I like the idea of him having a little scope. He's lined up. He's ready to take his shot. And his little friend here, he's ready to go. He's got his rifles slung on the back. He's got his binoculars. He's shouting out an order. And when you make your guys, a cool little tip that I would want to give you is don't focus super crazily on Rifleman number 48. Here's Rifleman number 48. Nothing super special about him. He's got his rifle. He's got his gun. He's got the bare essentials, right? Give your attention to your guys who stand out, like your NCOs. Make sure they look kind of cool. Give them an extra minute or two. When you go to paint them, give them little iron crosses. See, this guy's got a little iron cross there. He's distribute excellent valor. Give them to your machine gunners if you're Germans. Give that extra detail. Because these are the guys, these are the heavy hitters, the punchers. Make them stand out. Give them that detail. Finish painting them before you show them off. That guy's done. I got to do his base, though. But those guys are going to be the ones that people's eyes go to. They're going to be the ones you're the proudest of. Your lieutenants. I need to finish painting him, but he's got a little iron cross in there, too. He's got his book open. He's telling a story. You can tell that he's getting ready to give a command. He's observing the battlefield. He's got his battle notes. When you're building your army, take your time on those special guys. And don't stress a ton about having everybody look unique. Just by a fact of giving people different backs, different guns, you're going to have an army that looks kind of messy. And not messy in the sense that it's not put together well, but all their guns are going to be different. All their stances are going to be different. And you want that. And you want them to look different. You want them to have different helmets on. You want them to have different backpack configurations because it makes your guys look unique, but you don't need to give it a ton of focus. If you build them out just like this, they'll look great. One other thing, I want to show you the sprue real quick in case you're curious. This is the German Grenadier sprue. As you can see, you've got a guy standing here. This is one of the guys in the little tent thing. You've got a kneeler on the other side of the sprue. You've got a couple more guys standing in running positions. Kind of give you some different positions on the field. You've got 2 LMG options. There's one. And the other one is over here. It's freehand. You got to glue your hands on it yourself. You got several assault rifle options. You can build all assault rifle squads. You've got binoculars, map hands. You've got Panzerfaust free. You've got Panzerfausts right here. You've got Panzerfaust being held. You've got helmets. You've got bullet wraps. You've got captured Soviet guns. You've got MP40s you can sling around the neck. MP40s you can hold in the hands. You've got a good selection. You've got your packs all right here. You got your different packs you can put on their backs. You've got shovels. That's what these are, with knives. You've got your gas mask containers. You've got extra bullet packs. I believe these are for your MP40 and these are for your assault rifles. You got a single base on here for some reason. But it is a good sprue. It's one of my favorite sprues to work with. All the ones that I've had really good quality out of. You got your helmetless guy here, a couple field caps. There's your commander's helmet. And you got quite a few grenadier helmets. There's your little iron cross right there. It's a good little sprue. I highly recommend this box. Great army to build too. I'll give the list in the bottom or in the description. This is a great way to get into the game. If you're curious, it's a great way to experience what it is about bolt action that people like. And a German Grenadier box is $40. You're not going to get into games like Warhammer for $40 or Age of Sigmar for $40. Bolt action is unique in the sense that you can get into the game for $40. That's my rant on that. I really want to encourage you guys to give this a shot. Give this bolt action build a chance. If you have other armies you want to see, let me know. I might be able to get a box and build out an army list out of a box. I've got a veteran Grenadier army that I plan on showing pretty soon. And yeah, let me know if you're curious about anything else. Hopefully you guys can find some use out of this video, some tips, some models you want to try to recreate, or just simply the list itself. It's a 500-point list. It's really good. I like it a lot. I'll give you guys a link to it in the description. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like it. If you like this idea of bolt action builds, go ahead and subscribe. I'll have some more coming up shortly. And if you are curious about some other stuff, I have some other videos on the channel describing more bolt action stuff. Give them a look. Give them a listen. Thank you guys for your time. Have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day. Hopefully I'll see you again soon.